I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is the Fraser Gallop Estate Palladian Chardonnay from Wilyabrup, 2019, Margaret River. So Fraser Gallop Estate was established in the Wilyabrup region of Margaret River in 1999, so it's not particularly old, 22 years old this year. The owner is Nigel Gallop, and he made his career in software development in the IT industry in Australia and I think in America. And he became a wine lover, I think, while he was living in the States, and he determined to buy land and plant vines in Margaret River, which he did in the Wilyabrup region. He has 20 hectares of vineyard there now, and it's all dry grown, so he's never irrigated the vines, and it's all on the gravelly lateritic soils which are typical of the Wilyabrup region. Right from the start, they were very serious about wine quality, and he lured Clive Otto away from Vass Felix at the time, who was the chief winemaker of Vass Felix in those days. So Clive has been the head winemaker at Fraser Gallop all along, and it's a really good team, it seems to me. The interesting thing about eschewing irrigation, they're looking for the small crops of intense small berries. In other words, if you don't irrigate, the berries are generally smaller in size and therefore more intense in flavour, more concentrated in flavour, and they have this minerally quality, and you can produce long living wines that way. In fact, he goes as far as to say that it was 7 years before they got a commercial crop off these vines. When most vineyards are producing grapes, that's 3 to 4 years. That's a long time to wait for your payback in terms of the investment you've made and the reward you get for selling wine from your vineyard. So this is the top Chardonnay from Fraser Gallop, which is about $110 a bottle. They do a range of Chardonnays. The next one I think is the $50 wine, which is the Parterre Chardonnay, which is also very good. So what does this Fraser Gallop Palladian Chardonnay taste like? What do you get in a $110 Margaret River Chardonnay? It's a good question. Colour, beautiful light yellow colour, very fresh looking colour, youthful looking colour. Smell it, and the power of that bouquet is just quite stunning, really. It's a very concentrated nose. It has the nuttiness of barrel ferment. It has the struck flint character with a little bit of low-level sulphide in it, which is quite an interesting extra complexity that good Chardonnays can have. But there's also the fruit characters there, which are certainly citrus spectrum, lemon and lime. It's also got this sea spray kind of character, which a lot of Margaret River wines have. I think it's particularly an interesting aspect of these wines. Let's have a taste. Wow, that's a searingly intense wine. And part of the intensity of it is very high acidity. Chardonnay that's designed to be kept for a while and cellar worthy really needs quite high acidity, or certainly not low acidity. And wow, this has got it. And it would help the wine age, but also help it go with really rich foods, which the wine does suit because it's a full-bodied Chardonnay. So the sort of thing that you could have with crayfish, fish with a rich sauce, any kind of seafood with a rich sauce would go really well with that, and the acidity would help cut through. The length of palate is terrific. The wine is still very young. It's 2 years old, 2019. It's only just starting, to be a really impressive wine. It'll continue to get better and better, in my opinion, for the next 10 years. It is a really stunning wine. So how do we rate this wine, this Fraser Gallop Palladian Chardonnay? We're scored at 97 out of 100, which is a very high gold ribbon score. It was number 5 out of 72 Chardonnays from the Margaret River region that we tasted in the 2019 vintage. So 5 out of 72 is very high indeed. We've said drink it now until 10 years hence. In fact, if I had that in my cellar, I wouldn't be drinking it just yet. I'd give it at least another year. because if you're going to pay $110 for a Chardonnay, I think you need to drink it at its best, and I think that wine is still a baby, very much a baby. So the food match for this wine, we asked the winemaker, the chief winemaker Clive Otto, what he would like to serve with his wine, and he said, the way to go over here is, in West Australia he was talking about, is barbecued Western Australian rock lobster with salted butter, fresh herbs and garlic. I think that would be absolutely outstanding. He's given us another option if we're not rock lobster lovers. He said seared abalone is another good option. I'm sure he's absolutely right, but I'll take the lobster. Thanks, Clive. Cheers.